everyone and welcome to S3Bubble. So in this video tutorial we're going to go through how to set up BuyDRM with S3Bubble and using Amazon Web Services. Okay, so first off we've got a completely blank S3Bubble setup. I've just signed up. You can sign up for a new account on the home page, and I've also got a completely blank AWS account. Okay, so first of all, to get set up, if you want to go to a free AWS account, simply click this link here. Okay, and this will take you to this, and you can click create a free account, and you just follow the steps and that will create you a free AWS account. Okay, so it's as simple as that. Now I'm also going to assume that you've got the desktop app. If you haven't got the desktop app, under apps and tools there's a link here at the bottom. If you click that link, then if you scroll down you can see you've got a Windows and a Mac download for the desktop app. Now the desktop app's what we're going to be using to encrypt our media for DRM using the BuyDRM service. Okay, so let's go ahead and just get started. So first of all, we're going to want to connect S3Bubble, okay, to Amazon Web Services, and we're also going to want to connect the desktop app to Amazon Web Services. Okay, so if we go to Amazon Web Services, what they have is a thing called IAM, which stands for Identity and Access Management. Okay, now this is basically a service where you can create keys for services like S3Bubble that allow S3Bubble or any other service to be able to utilize your AWS account. Okay, so to do this, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll go over to policies. Now what you normally do is you create a policy and then you attach it to a user. Okay, so let's go back to S3Bubble, and then under AWS, if we go under to Identity and Access Management and click Connect, you'll see that we've got some example policies here. Okay, so these are the services that we when we add these, we're allowing S3Bubble to use in our AWS account. So let's click copy. Okay, and let's go ahead and create a policy. Okay, now we'll create this policy and we're just going to use JSON, so we'll paste it in. Now you really want to think about what services you're going to be utilizing with S3Bubble. Now obviously we don't need to use a lot of these. We're not going to be using any of this. Okay, we're not going to be using Media Convert in this tutorial or Media Live. Okay, so we can get rid of all of these. We're not going to be using Media Tailor or Media Package. Most of the things we're going to be using is just going to be the S3 services and CloudFront. So we'll leave that as is for now, and then we'll go to next, add tags. So okay, we can add some tags here. I'm not going to add any tags, but you can add tags. They're a great way to organize your AWS account. Now for this we're going to put S3Bubble, and we'll just call this service. Okay, S3Bubble website connection. Okay, so we can click we can use that. Now we'll create our policy. I'm just going to copy this name actually. Okay, so we've got our policy here with our access. So let's go and create a user now. So we're going to add a user. I'm going to paste the username in here. Now we're going to be using programmatic access because we're going to be using keys. This is going to generate 2 keys for us. Permissions. We want to attach existing policies. Search for our policy. Okay, next, tags. Again, tags, great way to organize, but we're not doing it in this tutorial. Okay, now what this is going to do, it's going to give us an access key and a secret key. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these keys, okay, and I'm going to paste them into S3Bubble here. Okay, so I've pasted the keys in here into S3Bubble. Now a good thing to do also is download the keys as CSV. Now it doesn't really matter if you like kind of lose your keys, you can always regenerate new keys, and I'll show you how to do that next. Okay, so we'll just go down and click submit. Okay, so now this will just say, do you want to check? So we can just go ahead and check. And to be honest, all we need it to do at the moment is list buckets and be connected to CloudFront. Now we didn't add these services, so we don't expect them to show as green. Okay, for Media Live and Media Convert will not show. We did add a Media Package. Okay, but now that's done, what we can do is we can go ahead and just view our buckets. Okay, and you can see we haven't got any buckets. Okay, we haven't got anything to store our media. Now S3Bubble and AWS, well, AWS is a storage service. It allows you to store your media in buckets, and then you also use a service called CloudFront to distribute your media around the world. Okay, now they're far too advanced topics for this tutorial. We're just going to show you how to get set up with BuyDRM. So we'll go to the quick setups, and we just want to set up a delivery bucket for this tutorial. Okay, and we'll just call this S3B and then BuyDRM. Okay, Now obviously you can call it whatever you want, you can put it in whichever region you want. We're just going to use North Virginia, it's just a standard AWS region. Just click create. Now what S3Bubble does is it goes off and it sets up services for you in AWS. So this is talking to AWS now and it's setting up all the services that we need. Now the reason we do this is it can be quite complicated, AWS, like you need to set up your cores correctly, you need to set up your bucket policy correctly to talk to the CloudFront distribution, and you need your CloudFront distribution set up correctly to whitelist certain values. Okay, so basically we go ahead and do all that for you. So we can check our bucket policy, and you can see it's been set up to talk to our CloudFront distribution, and our bucket cores are set up for media, for streaming basically. Okay, so now that's set up, we've created the connection between S3Bubble and AWS. Now we're also going to want to do this with our desktop app. Now why would you create different keys for your desktop app and just not use the same ones? It's too complicated, there's too many keys. Now the reason you do this is because the same way we showed previously, is your policies you can completely limit down to what you want. So we can create a different policy for the desktop app that will have less permissions than the one for the main website. Okay, so again, let's just go ahead and go over to AWS, yep, and then go to IAM connection. Take a look at the IAM policies, and you'll see that there's one for the desktop app. So you can see the desktop app one's super limited. All it does is just allow CloudFront distributions to list, so we can only list them, we can't create or change them. And S3 we can list, we can put, because we'll be uploading our content to S3 afterwards. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy this, go back to AWS, close this. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll go ahead and create a new policy, create policy, exactly same process as before. It's gonna go to, and for this one we'll call it S3Bubble desktop, keep it camel case, desktop app. Okay, this is used for the desktop app. Okay, create policy. Okay, great, so we've got our S3Bubble desktop app policy here. Okay, so again, you need to attach this to a user to get keys, so let's go and do that. So username, S3Bubble desktop app, desktop keys, attach policy directly. Again, I'm going through this quickly because we've already done it. Review and create user. Okay, so again, I'm just going to take these keys, okay, and then under the desktop app, if you go to on Windows it will be here, but in Mac it's at the top. If you go to AWS and enter credentials, okay, here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the keys now, I'm going to paste them in here. Okay, great, so as you can see I've pasted my keys in here. Let's click submit. It's going to ask you to restart the app, so just restart the app. Okay, and I'm just going to log in. Okay, so I'm just logged in here. Okay, so now we're ready to upload our first piece of media. Now just to show you, we're going to do it without BuyDRM first. So let's go ahead, and what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and use dash. Here you can select your playlist renditions, your sizes. So if you didn't want 1080p, I mean, you could get rid of some of these. If you wanted to just remove them, it's completely up to you. Here you can add subtitles, so we could add some subtitles here for like English, any language you want, and then also audio description, so if you want audio for different languages. Here you can add some extra meta data, and here we can add a poster. If you don't add a poster, it will simply grab the image from the middle of your content. Okay, now here's where we can add DRM, so you can add either DRM or BuyDRM. Okay, we'll be doing BuyDRM in this tutorial. Let's click next. Okay, and here's where you can add an ad decision server, so you can also do media tailor, server-side ad insertion here. That's again for another tutorial. But as you can see, we've clicked next, and here, if we take a look, you can see it's already connected up with the bucket that we created earlier. Okay, and it will automatically generate the right CloudFront distribution for you. Here's where you can output your media to a specific folder. We're just going to use a random ID. Just click save and continue. And this is where you can use channel assembly and media tailor. You don't need to worry about this now, but it means you can create TV programs directly through the app. Okay, so we click submit. So what this does now is it basically, this is now encoding our media to Dash, okay, and then after it's encoded, it's going to upload our media to AWS that we can then use in S3Bubble, okay. Okay, so that is now uploaded to our Amazon account. So if you want to go ahead and take a look at your Amazon account under the service S3, you'll see that we've got our bucket, and inside our bucket we've got a folder, and our folder has all the content needed. So you've got BIF for thumbnails, we've got our master JPEG, our master JSON, and our MPD file for the Dash output, and here is where we have all the different segments for our Dash rendition. Okay, so let's go back to S3Bubble, and S3Bubble syncs with AWS. Okay, so anything you see in AWS under S3 you'll see here. Let's go into the bucket. Okay, and then again this is S3. But what happened with S3 and the desktop app is it will actually create a player for you. Okay, so you can see a player was created a minute ago, and this is the code for our player. Okay, and then we can go and view and edit our player. Now this shows you how we can add our player, basically using the Npm module, or we can use the WordPress plugin or the direct URL. Okay, so for the direct URL, I'm just going to go ahead and just paste this into a demo website. So let me just open one now. Okay, so I've just opened up Bitmovin. It just allows you to play a Dash file, so I can click load. Okay, and you can see that our media is being encoded to Dash and it's playing. Now again, we did not encode our media for DRM, so there's no need to add a license server, but let's go ahead and do that next. Okay, because this video tutorial is focused on using the actual S3Bubble Npm module to set up BuyDRM, we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so first off, let's go to Visual Studio Code. Now we've just got a tutorial set up here. Now again, this might be out of depth for some people in this video, but I think it makes sense for just to show you a full setup. So we can go ahead, and I'm just going to paste in some commands now just for npm. We're going to install a HTTP server so we can actually run the website. Okay, and then what we're going to use is we're going to be using OpenSSL. Now one thing to note about OpenSSL, now when you do BuyDRM, you're going to do something similar. Okay, now it's not the same as this. You need to contact them and their support. They're really good with their support. They get back to you straight away, and they'll show you how to generate your keys. Okay, but this is completely separate, don't worry about that. Okay, and for common name, just need to put in localhost. Now this is localhost. So this is obviously just a test environment that we're using, and then what I'm going to do is just update the scripts. Okay, here. Okay, and now that's done, I can simply run npm run start. Okay, and what that's going to do, so I'm going to open this up now in a browser. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, we've opened it up. There isn't any files in it, but it is working. Okay, so what we can do now is let's go ahead and create a index file, index.html file, and then we'll just add a boilerplate. Okay, so what we've got here, save. Okay, and now you can see it's gone, so we've got our index working. So let's go ahead and use the npm module here. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just open up a new terminal, and let's just install the npm module. Okay, so the npm module is now installed, so let's go ahead and use it. So I've just added a style sheet while that was installing. You can go to node modules, S3Bubble, and then what we want to go to is the player and this, and we want the CSS here and the CSS min. Okay, now again, let's include the same for the JS. Okay, this JS S3Bubble min. Okay, so here we've added our S3Bubble player. Okay, So if we can go back and run refresh, you can see there's nothing generated here now. So what we can do actually, just to check that it's working, if we just go to a basic example here, okay, and what we'll do is we'll paste the basic example here, we'll switch out the div. Okay, now let's go back to S3Bubble and then let's grab our player code. Okay, so we can grab our player code up here at the top. Okay, simply grab our player code here, save. Just want to refresh. Okay, and we run a refresh and you can see our player is playing now. Okay, so our player's playing, we've got our thumbnails all set up, Chromecast works, AirPlay works, we've also got our qualities, our different renditions. So you can see we only selected a few renditions for this one, so that shows that what we did from the desktop app worked. Okay, and then this is our player setup here. So again, that's what we've got set up in the code, and it's as simple as that. We've simply included the CSS, included the JavaScript. Now it was a class but it needed to be an ID. Okay, so make sure it's an ID and it will reference your div by an ID. Okay, so make sure that you have that, and then you simply put in your code. Okay, so that's how we got set up with a Dash player, playing for Dash. Now we do the same thing for HLS. Okay, so we can use HLS. So if you're not doing any kind of DRM encryption, then simply use HLS because it will be supported cross-browser. But if you want to do DRM, unfortunately you need to use a combination of HLS and Dash, and that's just the nature of the way DRM is at the moment. Okay, so what we'll do is let's go ahead and set up for DRM. So let's go ahead and drag our video in again. Let's start with Dash again. Okay, and again let's use BuyDRM. Okay, now again we don't want to like log into the BuyDRM website and show you how to get set up with BuyDRM. That's something that you can do with them. It's really simple. If you find their docs a bit overwhelming, simply contact their support. Support's really good. They'll get back to you very quickly and show you how to get set up. All you need for the S3Bubble desktop app to do BuyDRM is a private key and a public key. Okay, so what we're going to go, I'll go and add my private key and public key now. Okay, so I've added my private key, my public key, and the media ID. Let's click next, next. Okay, and then we're going to upload to our bucket again. So we could call this Dash DRM if we wanted to, just to show you can name your folders whatever you want. Now what I'll do is I'm just going to kind of pause the video while this goes off and encodes our media. Okay, so this has encoded our media. Now what we need to do is we can take this code, but let's go ahead and just look at the BuyDRM setup on the npm package, and let's just copy it. Okay, let's go back to our setup, and what we're going to do is we're going to take our code from the desktop app. Okay, and we're going to paste it in, and we can use the same code for Dash for Widevine and for PlayReady. Okay, so we've got already got the license URLs in for BuyDRM here, so that's already set up for you. You'll need to set up a Fairplay certificate here. Now I'll paste in my Fairplay certificate, and then it will use that to get the key. But obviously we haven't encoded media for Fairplay. Now Fairplay is for HLS. Okay, so you need to encode for HLS for Fairplay DRM encryption. So to do that, simply finish. We'll use the same piece of media, same settings, but we're using HLS. Okay, and again we're going to be using BuyDRM, so I'm going to paste in my private and public key here. Okay, and enter the media ID, and then now we can put BuyDRM HLS. Okay, submit. Okay, so this is doing the same thing. It's going off and encoding, but it's actually encoding it to HLS this time instead of Dash, and it's also integrating with BuyDRM to encrypt your media. So let me pause the video where this encodes and uploads. Okay, so this is now encoded, encrypted, and uploaded. So let's go take this key, and I'm going to paste my Fairplay code in here. Okay, and I've also updated my cert, and I've added my authentication XML in, and I also need to just update the player. Okay, so what we can do now Again, your authentication XML, this can be done with a proxy to prevent people from actually using your DRM content on another website. Okay, obviously it's a really long string, you can only see part of mine, so I would never show the whole string. But yeah, so we've got Fairplay for Safari, we've got Widevine for Chrome and Firefox, and PlayReady is for IE and Edge. Now the plugin does all the switching needed for you. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to our demo and run a refresh. Play. Okay, so this is now encoded, okay, and encrypted, and it's secured your media. I'm just going to open up Safari. Okay, so I've just posted it into Safari. I'm going to visit the website because we're just doing this locally, but obviously you should definitely well, you need SSL set up to use DRM. Okay, so it won't work with DRM, but that's fine to just do for testing. So as you can see, what this is doing is this is then playing in Safari. Now BuyDRM does allow to prevent screen recording, so obviously I'm screen recording this, that's why you can't see it. Okay, which is great. It means you can secure your content and prevent people from screen recording your media. Now again, S3Bubble Globals has a prevent screen recording flag. Okay, so I don't think it's in the docs, but it will be. But what we can do, okay, so let me just go and grab the code. So you can set some globals. So if we just set up a global here, now we're going to add a global of prevent screen recording. Okay, and simply save that here. So what this is going to do is if you go to a browser, let's say if we open up the one on Chrome, it will say you must use a Safari browser to view this content. So it will basically force them to use the browser that supports preventing screen recording. Okay, so that's just another way to protect your content. Now the reason you can do this on Safari on a Mac is because Safari browser can actually talk to the file system, because it's part of the Mac OS, and it's on Windows. They'll have to view with PlayReady on Edge. Okay, so it does all that for you. But basically that's it. That's all we were going to go through in this tutorial. You can use the desktop app, you can set up and secure your content, you can then use the Npm module, okay, and just simply add your files here. The Npm module does all the switching, so it does all the good stuff needed for you. You can set up a proxy for your authentication XML to secure and lock it down to your website. So there's lots of other things that you can do. But I hope that was a good intro to get you started. With EZDRM, it's pretty much the same process, but we'll do another tutorial based on that. Thanks.